Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Jack Talks Bikes. Let's get straight to the topic of upside down forks. You've probably landed on this video because you want to know what they are and why you keep hearing about them or reading about them in latest press releases or other YouTubers' bike reviews. Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain to you what they are, why manufacturers use them, the trade-offs that you should know about, and later on I'm going to tell you about one situation where ordinary right way up forks can actually be of a better choice. So stay with me. So what are they then? Well, an upside down fork, often abbreviated to USD or also known as an inverted fork, is a telescopic front suspension setup for a motorbike and sometimes used on mountain bikes as well. The way that an upside down fork differs from a right way up fork is that the larger diameter tube is fixed at the top inside the yoke or triple clamp. So this section here, the larger diameter tube, is fixed near the very top of the suspension unit. And the slimmer sliding part of the bike, known as the suspension, known as the stanchion, is now at the bottom attached to the wheel rather than at the top. Functionally, it still contains the same parts as a normal right way up cartridge fork. The springs, the damping cartridge and the fork oil, all the stuff that sits inside this part is just at the top, so it's a normal suspension unit just flipped over. So why do designers flip them then? Well, there's three main reasons manufacturers choose an upside down fork over a right way up fork. The first one is increased torsional and bending stiffness up front. Clamping the larger diameter tube into the yoke increases the fork's resistance to twisting and flexing, which helps the front end feel more precise during heavy braking and fast cornering maneuvers. The second point is all about lowering effective unsprung mass at the wheel assembly. So by locating the heavier part of the suspension further up and keeping the moving lower part, lightweight bit, the stanchion at the bottom, you are moving the weight away from the wheel. So you're reducing the amount of unsprung weight down the far end. This means that wheel assembly can react much faster to bumps, it improves front end sensitivity, and its reaction to small bumps, making the bike feel much more compliant. That whole thing improves the bike's sensitivity, and that translates to better grip and more consistent contact with the road. And the third reason is all to do with packaging and performance parity with modern cartridge systems. USD fork designs commonly pair better with modern cartridges, damping and high quality internals. So there's a natural fit on performance bikes where precision damping and stiffness are prioritized. Now, as with everything, there are some trade-offs you need to be aware of, and upside-down forks aren't free from those downsides. The main trade-offs are cost. Upside-down forks are commonly more expensive to manufacture and service. Replacement parts and rebuilds typically cost a lot more than a conventional right-way-up fork. There's also maintenance considerations to take into account. Because the oil and damping reservoir sits higher up in this assembly, if a fork seal fails, well, oil can migrate out in ways that means it loses damping much quicker thanks to gravity. So if the seal fails, the oil is going to run out much quicker than if it was in a right way up fork. This means that seal condition and regular servicing isn't necessarily more important on an upside down fork. It just means if it goes wrong, it needs to be seen to much quicker. There's also marginal benefits for casual riders. For everyday commuting, relaxed riding and low speed use, modern conventional cartridge forks, right way up forks, can perform very well. And the extra stiffness and cost that upside down forks come with may not produce a meaningful real world benefit for many riders. So with that in mind, here are some practical maintenance notes that all riders should look for, regardless of whether they've got upside down or right way up forks. You should be checking your seals and fork legs regularly for oil leaks. And as we just discussed, upside down fork seals will eventually wear like any other fork seal. And because of how the oil is positioned, as we've talked about here, above the seal and not below it, leaks are something that need to be addressed extremely quickly. You should also follow the service intervals for oil and cartridge services recommended by the bike manufacturer. And if you're an enthusiastic rider who does track days, for example, then consider more frequent servicing or rebuilding by a specialist who knows what they're doing. Now, are all upside down forks built equal? Well, the short answer is no. There are inexpensive inverted forks with basic damping, and there are high-end ones from brands like Öhlins, WP and Showa out there, which offer full adjustable cartridges and precision internals. How a fork is engineered is based on things like its cartridge type, its damping adjustment and its spring rate. All this sort of stuff matters more than whether it's upside down or the right way up in many cases. Riders who push hard, so track day riders and sports bike riders, and people who demand the sharpest front end feedback under heavy braking and fast direction changes will benefit the most from high-end upside down forks, and they are the ones that are going to notice the biggest advantage from having this setup on their bike. Whereas if you mainly commute, carry a passenger regularly or prefer comfort over razor sharp handling, then a more basic upside down fork or even a conventional right way up fork with a good cartridge setup can be a perfectly sensible choice. Now, if you remember at the top of this video, I did say there is one particular situation where a right way up fork is going to be more preferential. But before I reveal that answer, I want to give a quick shout out to this week's video sponsor, Tru Tension. These guys have been supporting the channel since day one, and they make a range of great maintenance tools, cleaning and detailing stuff, and security devices. So whether you're after that full showroom finish, a no-nonsense chain maintenance kit, or just some helpful tools to make DIY jobs on your bike easier, or something to keep it secure and locked up and make sure that bike stays yours, then these guys have got you covered. If you use the code that I'm displaying on the screen right now, you get 30% off all non-sale items across their website. There is an affiliate link in the description below, and if you choose to buy through that, you'll be supporting me and my channel to keep making this free-to-view content. But ultimately, you'll not pay a single penny more than the asking price. Anyway, back to the video, and let's see what situation a conventional right wheel up fork can actually be a better choice. So if you're a rider that is mostly going to be doing urban commuting, or you're the kind of person that needs the absolute lowest running costs and service costs with straightforward, long-lasting maintenance intervals, then a modern conventional cartridge fork will win value for money, hands down in that situation. The stiffness upside down forks offer you is simply not necessary for those use cases and can often cost you more in the long run. So I'm talking about 125cc owners and entry-level commuter bikes, and those that just don't need the additional complexities of upside down forks on their bike. So that's the short practical version. Upside down forks improve stiffness and front end feel and reduce the effective unsprung mass, but they do cost more and they need proper maintenance. If you ride at pace or track your bike regularly, upside down forks is usually worth it. But if you're a casual rider who wants low running costs and easy upkeep, then a conventional cartridge right way up fork is still a smart choice. Now please do remember to hit that like button if you've learned something. If you've liked this video, then click over here for another episode of my Anatomy of Motorcycles videos. And if you're new here or even a returning viewer and you've not yet subscribed, then click on my face over here to do so because it's free of charge, it doesn't cost you a single penny, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to do it. I'm Jack, this has been Jack Talks Bikes, and whatever you're up to for the rest of your day, I hope you have a good one, and thank you very much for taking the time to watch.